So the day has arrived. It's time to give back the car and be alone in the bush with no way to take my pets to the vet, no way to go out and work and earn, no way to evacuate in an emergency, no way to just shop and get anything I need to have any quality of life. Old school. So, of course, today, when I have to hitchhike and walk the whole fucking day, hours on end, is the windiest. It's been so windy all night and it's so cold. The wind is icy cold and it's going to rain. And that's what we're going to be walking in. So, I wasn't able to pack the butane, like, stuff for the stove and everything. Hello, darling, getting ready? And, she's wanting to go for a walk, but we're going soon. I've got a lot of food, but it's snacky stuff like corn thins, cream cheese, avocado, little mini milks, muesli bars, cup of soups. Don't do that, darling. Cup of soups. I've got electrolytes with some water. I've got enough food for Sadie for a few days. I've got not all her toys, but a whole heap of her toys, and balls and chew things like little bones and marrow bones and ears and things like that. I've got a raincoat for her, a little reflector to put on her raincoat. I've got my high-vis jacket. I've charged up my head torch. I've got plastic to go over everything because I know it's going to be raining. So I've got my waterproof jacket with a hood, but I've got my rain pants to cover over my normal pants. I've got my boot covers that are plastic. I've even got a bag cover for my backpack, plastic cover thing for my phone. Enough food for her for like 3 days. What else have I got? I've got like my spiritual stuff. I've got some of my favorite crystals. I've got my black tourmaline, my citrine, my amethyst, and I can't even remember, calcite something, I can't remember. But I've got them with me and I'm going, my brain is so tired. I've hardly slept. I've been awake all night, just up and down. I've been up and at it since just before like 5 o'clock. I've had oats and boiled eggs and fruit. I've had a nice strong herbal tea with like triple the amount of chamomile, heaps of like reishi, peppermint and ginger, because I know my guts are already feeling it and they're going to really feel it. Yes, darling, they're going to really feel it once I'm out there and I get stressed. I've got toilet paper, spare underwear, spare layers if it gets cold to put under what I'm wearing. I'm already wearing a thermal and then a t-shirt and then a long sleeve shirt, then a flanny, and then I'm going to have my jacket. I've got more leggings and stuff. I've got extra socks. I don't have a single dollar to my name. It all went on preparing for this. Like, I only got paid on Wednesday and it's all gone because I had to stock up on absolutely everything because I knew I was about to lose the car. So I don't know what else to do. I've positioned my cameras around my van and the rabbits so that you can't access my van or rabbits without being on the cameras. The cameras are just finishing charging now. I'm going to make sure they're all put up properly and charged. I've double checked the Wi-Fi. I've charged the battery on my caravan so it doesn't die here and the Wi-Fi modem stays connected. So I'll be getting all the notifications on my phone if anyone goes near my van or my rabbits. Put a padlock on their thing, on their enclosure. I've set them up with enough food for a few days. So basically, I don't want to be coming near my van because I know I'm about to get in trouble, possibly arrested and charged for what's about to happen when I hand it over. And also, I don't want to be followed or anything and put myself in danger. So I'm not going to be coming directly to the van. I'm going to be making my way very slowly. Going to be dealing with the police because I'm honest, I'm transparent, I'm compliant. It's going to be a perfect opportunity to see how they handle this kind of thing. Someone with trauma who's handing themselves in completely honest and transparent, telling them every crime that they've committed to see if they're going to be power tripping and intimidating and traumatizing, or if they're going to treat it for what it is and respect me, and make sure I'm still safe regardless of the fact that I would have broken laws. Now, I've not been a perfect human, and I'm never going to say that I haven't done anything wrong. I have broken laws. I was doing drugs when I was younger. I drove when I was, on them. I never drank and drove. It was always when I was on the MDMA, because I knew at the time that it wasn't actually altering my mind. When I mixed it with other things, I never drove. I was functioning around, but I was illegally driving with that in my system and the weed. Because back then I didn't care. I was fearless. And, I overstayed my welcome in America, so I broke a law there. I was dealing drugs in America. I was 18 years old. If you look at all the crimes I've committed, you can tell I'm not a bad person or a thug or a criminal. When I was 17, I was living on the streets. I waited for my mum to go to work. I broke into her house and stole things that I knew she would just claim back on insurance. And I used the money to stay in a motel and a caravan park. I also stole the meat from her freezer and ate it. What else have I done crime-wise? Oh, I got arrested in China. I accidentally walked out of a convenience store with a drink, didn't pay for it, opened it. It escalated so quickly because of the language barrier. And then when the cops came, I was so triggered and traumatized. You can hear it's so windy. I was so triggered and traumatized. The older cop was really nice. He actually paid for my drink and let me drink it. Was trying to resolve it with me, but the younger one kept poking me in the ribs. And I was trying so hard, but it was triggering me. All my stuff was just coming to the surface. And about the fourth time, I just turned around and shoved him, which is what he wanted, so that they could take me back to the station and bribe me. I was so traumatized. No English on their side, minimum Mandarin on mine. They were totally ignoring me when I was trying to tell them to call my Chinese friend and give the phone number. And then I needed the toilet when we got to the police station, and the young one who was poking me took me to the toilet, but he wouldn't shut the door, and he stood right over me while I was on the squat toilet watching me. And as I stood up, he jabbed me with his fingers, and he grabbed my vagina. My pants were still down. He grabbed me and touched me there, and that was an instant trigger. I reacted, and we were brawling across the police station. I saw red in that moment. He was my dad. And I actually picked up a pedestal fan that was in the police station, swung it around my head like the Hulk, lobbed it at the guy. He ducked and missed. It missed him, but it took out all the stuff in the station. So then I had all this damage in the police station. They were going to deport me. I ended up paying nearly 5,000 Australian dollars in bribes to get out of it. It was around the time my sensory was nuts and I had that meltdown where I couldn't stop crying. I was like, okay, I can't sleep. I'm crying. I'm losing my shit. I need to go. So that's what I did. That's why I get pissed off when people come to Australia and they don't respect us, because I was like, I couldn't cope over there. I came undone. I left. I didn't try to change their laws or tell them that they were racist or try to change the way they do things in their country to accommodate me. I couldn't cope, so I fucking got out. And that's how it should be wherever you go. But the laws I've broken, I've either been young and dumb, I've either been traumatized and scared. This is going to be the first time I knowingly go in and break a law of sound mind, and it's all to make a point. It's all to show you. You just treated me like a criminal, accused me of things I didn't do. Fine, I'll show you criminal. You just gave me a broken car and ripped me off over $10,000. Fine, the car is in my name. I paid for those tires. You're not getting what I paid for. You're getting a broken car back. This is going to be therapy for me. This is going to be therapy. I'm going to get all my fucking rage out today. But it's also going to be an opportunity for this channel to see how the police handle me. So I can show you. Yeah. Here they are. 47 kilos, sick, wearing a hip brace, can barely fucking walk, weak as hell. By the time they get to me, I'll be in panic, I'll be traumatized, I won't have my frontal lobe, and I'll be terrified. So let's see how they handle that. So I don't care. I'm willing to get in trouble for this because I keep getting in trouble for things that I haven't done, accused of things I haven't done, treated like a criminal, treated like a fucking piece of shit. Taken advantage of and just robbed all the fucking time. I've been told I need to let my anger out in healthy ways. That car's registered in my name. I've paid over 10 grand on it. I have to give it back because it's a dud. All the things that's in that report, it is happening now. You can hear now that the power's going. The day before yesterday, I heard a clunk, clunk sound. I'm like, what's that? It's probably the diff because it's like all the things that's come up on the thing. It's had problems that have been in the background that I didn't know about. These people told me that the car would be perfect for the land that I was on. They saw me driving on that land like a grandma, were complimenting how good I was at it because I was smoothly going through all this four-wheel drive terrain in an underground mining car with a roll cage that's made for four-wheel driving. You can't say that I did it. So, normal, respectful Chloe, who's not a criminal, who's people-pleasing, self-sacrificing, who will just keep taking the loss, taking the kick in the guts, would go, okay, I have to hand this car back. It's got mud on it because when I was at the farm, a dirty dog from the muddy puddle jumped up to say hi to Sadie and got mud all over the door. I'm not cleaning that. There's dirt all inside because I've been living and working on a farm. I would normally vacuum that. I'm not vacuuming that. I don't give a fuck. You gave it to me with needing new tires. You're getting it back with needing new tires. You gave it to me needing new brakes. I'm going to make sure it needs new brakes. I was about to get all that fixed with the service. All the little things that it needed, that it came back for. Anything that I actually broke. There's a couple of things that I have accidentally broken, but they're minor. And I was not caring about it because it's my ute. Like one of the doors got jammed. I don't care. I'm going to now jam them all. The toolbox on it, one of the toolbox latches isn't shutting properly. I was going to get that fixed. I didn't care. I was just using a bit of wire to hold it shut because it's my ute. They're minor things. I don't give a fuck. I'm not fixing those now. You're getting it back like this. It came back saying that it needed new wiper blades. I'm not getting those. It came back saying that one of the lights, tail lights, needs replacing. I'm not paying for that. I'm not paying for anything. I'm going to really make sure those brakes have worn out when I give them back. Got the diagnosis on this. The mechanical report clearly shows that the customer was concerned that it was losing power. And if it continues, if loss of power continues, you got to keep an eye on it. I wasn't told about that. I couldn't read. At the time, I was so sick. It was all trust-based. I'm going to show you the paperwork in the next video because the next video is going to be the evidence I'm putting online, incriminating myself to show every single crime that I have committed today so no one can add extra, gaslight, but also to show you, okay, no one wants to listen to a sick person. When you go to the police or a lawyer or anyone to say you got wronged and you're triggered and you're scared and you're coming undone, you can't even get past the person at the front desk. They're like, whatever, and they won't look at it. You can have all the evidence in the world and you'll get shunned. And because they have the good status in the community, oh, we're good pillars of the community. In Dalesford's case, it was they owned half the town. They were rich, prestigious. Everyone knew them. The police were in their fucking pocket. Boom. Don't have to listen to me. Doesn't matter about my evidence. It's the same. This guy, man of the church, helping out the troubled teens. If you saw what's going on in that fucking house, Sometimes, rather than dobbing on people, it's easier for you to throw a rock, because what happens then, guys, is those people freak out and panic. And when they're dishonest, when all the panic kicks in, is when all the lies come out. And then you've got perjury on paper in the courts with the police. You can prove it. You've got all the evidence to show that they lied. And then they look 10 times worse. And it actually falls back on them. But you have to go through the ringer to do it. These guys wanted to take me to court for slander, because I said what was going on and when you're supposed to be taking care of teenage kids. But actually, what happened, and I do know, it's going to end up opening up a can of worms to have themselves investigated if they want to get me for slander. So sometimes, have you seen that film, Law Abiding Citizen? Gerard Butler. He watches his wife and kid get raped and murdered in front of him. And then they get off for good behavior. Good murderers, good rapists, good pedos. You get to go back out after a few years and live your life. So he got himself in prison to get justice, but also to show how broken the system is. Sometimes you have to do stupid things just to get attention on things. And in this case, this is going to be $10,000, $11,000 therapy. I'm going to be releasing my rage. And it's going to feel amazing.